Continuing with the analysis of reflex klystron, just we have to go again through the Applegate diagram to understand about the power output and efficiency in a reflex klystron. So this is the Applegate diagram for the reflex klystron. We have already seen that some electrons are getting accelerated when the cavity gap voltage is positive. Some electrons are getting decelerated during the negative half cycle, and some electrons are not subjected to any change in modulation, that is when the cavity gap voltage is 0. So the above figure represents the distance from the repeller gap and x-axis the time, and we can see that bunging occurs at a later time for all this reference electron, accelerated electron and the decelerated, that is all the early electron, reference electron and late electron. Later it is getting bunched at a particular point, and the best time for the bunging to occur is when the cavity gap voltage is again the maximum. So at the 90-degree point of the sign gap voltage. So here it is shown the transit time for say 1 and 3/4 mode. So that is how the nomenclature of modes occur in reflex klystron. The lowest order mode is the 3/4. Again it will occur for 1 and 3/4, 2 and 3/4, 3 and 3/4 and so on. So from this Applegate figure, we are going to make the analysis for the power output and efficiency of the reflex klystron. Now from the Applegate figure, we can understand that the maximum energy transfer, the round trip transit angle referring to the center of the bunch. We know the equation for the round trip transit angle theta to be given as omega into T0 dash. Here T0 dash denotes the DC transit time for the electron. So that is theta is omega T0 dash or omega T2 minus T1. T2 minus T1 is the round trip transit time for the electron. So that referring to the center of bunch will be n minus 1/4 of 2 pi or capital N into 2 pi. Here capital N is n minus 1/4. N denotes the total number of modes. Capital N denotes the total number of modes and small n can be any integer for any cycle number. So we can write the expression for the round trip transit angle as 2 pi n minus pi by 2. We also know the fundamental component of the current which is induced, I2 is equal to 2I0 beta ij1 of x dash. Here x dash is a bunching parameter of the reflex klystron. This expression is similar to that of the two cavity klystron. Then in order to find the efficiency, we have to write the expression for the DC power supplied by the beam voltage V0 and AC power delivered to the load. Since efficiency is power AC divided by power DC, we will write the expression for PDC as capital V0 into I0 and AC power delivered to the load as V1 into I2 divided by 2. So again here we are writing, substituting for capital I2 from this particular equation, we get the following equation. Now from the standard expression, that is the bunching parameter for a reflex klystron S dash, theta 0 dash, that is a round trip transit time for the electron, and the value for omega T0 dash as 2 pi n minus pi by 2. We could express the ratio of V1 by V0 as such. Okay, so what modification is made here is that from the bunching parameter x dash only I have written the expression for V1 by V0. So from this first equation I have written the expression for V1 by V0, and instead of theta 0 dash we have substituted it with 2 pi n minus pi by 2. So finally the expression for V1 by V0 is obtained as such. Now since we have to find the efficiency, we will write again the expression for power AC, which is equal to V1 into I2 divided by 2. We know that power could be expressed in terms of Vrms and Irms. So since we have written here in terms of maximum voltage and current, we will get it as V1 into I2 divided by 2. So substituting for I2 from the previous expression, 2I0 beta ij1 of x dash, we get power AC to be this final expression. Okay, again we get the power AC when we are substituting for this from this previous expression. Instead of V1, I can substitute in terms of V0. So I get the final expression for power AC as such. Now this is the expression for power AC. Now the electronic efficiency of a reflex klystron oscillator can be found as power AC by power DC. That is the AC power we got at the output to the DC power applied at the input. So from this expression we can substitute for V0 I0 as power DC and get this particular expression. Now we can find theoretically the maximum efficiency possible for a reflex klystron. So for n is equal to 1 and 3 by 4 mode, we are getting the most output power. We can approximate as say n is equal to 2. And x dash into j1 of x dash reaches a maximum value of 1.25 at x dash is equal to 2.408. So by substituting these values, that is instead of x dash we can substitute as 2.408 and instead of n we can approximate it as 2. So maximum efficiency we get to be 22.7% for a reflex klystron. Now we can see two characteristics. First characteristic is the output power versus repeller voltage cara. That is what will happen to our output power when the repeller voltage is going to change from the sender voltage. So from the previous expression of the output power or the AC power which is induced in our cavity, we can write the expression as such and some further steps are written for better understanding. That is how we are making finally a relation between the output power and a repeller voltage. So here we are making some modification. Instead of 2 pi n minus pi by 2 we are replacing it to be with theta 0 dash, that is a round trip transit angle. Then theta 0 dash is further omega into T naught dash, where T naught dash is the round trip DC transit time of the center bunch of the electron. So we are replacing the equation of T0 dash finally in our power output equation. And also we know from the velocity modulation process this V0 is equal to root of 2V0 by M. So we get finally a relationship between the output power and the repeller voltage, and when we are plotting it, the cara or that is of the power output and the repeller voltage, for example in MATLAB we can say that the output power is assuming a bell shape. That is from this expression we can say that whenever the repeller voltage is varied from the center voltage, or even when the frequency we are denoting also in terms of omega. So whenever the frequency is also varying from the center frequency, the AC power, the output power will be affected and it is going to assume a bell shape as shown in the figure. So this is the power output versus repeller voltage characteristics. So now we come to another cara, that is frequency versus repeller voltage. That is how is the repeller voltage and frequency dependent on each other. So we know the expression for the transit angle theta naught dash as omega into T0 dash, which is equal to 2 pi n minus pi by 2. So we are going to make slight modifications for this equation. Instead of T0 dash, which is a round trip DC transit time for the center bunch of electron, we have already seen the equation, and here instead of V0 we can substitute it with root of 2 EV0 by M. So when I am making such substitution, I get the equation for theta naught dash as shown here, given below. Now by squaring the previous equation, we get an expression as such, and it can be seen from this equation that for a given particular beam voltage, DC beam voltage V0, and for a given mode number N, the relationship between the repeller voltage VR and omega. That is, whenever the frequency is varied from the center frequency, we can say the repeller voltage is also getting affected. So this repeller voltage VR and omega is actually dependent for a given beam voltage VO and for a given mode number N. So that is what is written here. Now about the tuning of reflex klystron. Reflex klystron finds application as a frequency varying oscillator. The tuning is possible by adjustment of the repeller voltage VR. The tuning range is about plus or minus 8 MHz in X band And for higher bands, tuning to an extent of plus or minus 80 megahertz is possible. So now here we are going to establish a relationship between the frequency F and the repeller voltage VR. So from the previous equation we are continuing here and we are further differentiating the repeller voltage VR with respect to omega. So we get the relation as shown here. So again further continuing, we are going to replace this omega with 2 pi f. So we are going to replace omega by 2 pi f, and when we are again continuing the process, we establish here the relationship between the frequency f and the repeller voltage VR. So the relation gives the variation of frequency with variation of repeller voltage. So thus reflex klystron finds application as a frequency varying oscillator. So both the characteristics from this we can infer that for a given beam voltage Vo and cycle number n, the center repeller voltage can be determined in terms of the center frequency and the power output at the center frequency can be calculated. Whenever the frequency is varying from center frequency and the repeller voltage above the center voltage, power output is assuming a bell shape. And about the frequency of the resonance of the cavity, it is only going to decide the frequency of oscillation. From the equation we can understand that whenever we are changing the repeller voltage, even the slight variation change in frequency, it will amount to electronic tuning of reflex klystron. So it is possible to use it as a voltage tuned oscillator or frequency modulated oscillator. This even slight variation in repeller voltage changes the frequency, finding so many application as a frequency oscillator. So we have obtained the expression for the relation between the repeller voltage and the output AC power and the relation between the repeller voltage and the frequency. So this is a graph which can be plotted in any software, for example like MATLAB, and the variation is as shown. So this is a power output and frequency characteristics of a reflex klystron. Now we come to the electronic admittance of reflex klystron. So how can we define admittances? It is a ratio of the induced output current I2 to the induced output voltage, the ratio of I2 to V2. So we can first write the expression for I2. Here it is written in phasor form. 2 I naught beta 1 J1 of x dash into e raised to minus j theta 0 dash. Theta 0 dash is the transit gap angle for the reflex klystron. Also the voltage across the gaps at time of t2 is written in phasor form as V2 is equal to V1 e raised to minus j pi by 2. Now when we are writing the ratios of I2 to V2, here we are making actually a replacement, that is the value for voltage V1 is written in terms of the bunging parameter x dash of reflex klystron. So we get the final expression for the electronic admittance of the reflex klystron in the phasor form. Now, when we are writing the expression for the electronic admittance denoted by YE, we can say that from this we get an inference that admittance is not going to be linear. It will be always non-linear. Why? Because it is dependent on the bunging parameter x dash. It is dependent on J1 x dash divided by x dash. So we can conclude that our admittance is always going to be non-linear in nature. Now this is the equivalent circuit shown. Here L and C are the storage elements. GC represents the copper losses of the cavity. GB the beam loading conductance and GL the load conductance. So we have written here in terms of the conductance, and V2 is the voltage developed in the output part. So a current of induced current here is flowing in the output and a voltage V2 is developed in the output. Now we are studying obviously about an oscillator. So oscillation should be sustained. When will oscillations be sustained is when net conductance is lesser than 0. That is, we should be having a negative resistance. In equation form it is written the negative real part. Okay, this is a magnitude. the magnitude of the negative real part of the conductance should be greater than or equal to the total conductance of the circuit. Okay, so here G is equal to Gc plus Gb plus GL, which is equal to 1 by RSH, where RSH is the effective shunt resistance. So this is the condition for the oscillation to take place. That is, the device should exhibit negative resistance property. Now, admittance can be represented in rectangular form. We know admittance is denoted by capital VE and the real part of admittance by capital GE, and the imaginary part of the admittance can be represented by the susceptance or BE. So, YE is equal to GE plus JBE, and when we are plotting it, the admittance of a rectangular plot, the characteristic is a spiral. Okay, and the region of oscillation is also shown. Any value of the angle theta 0 dash for which the spiral lies in the left to the area of the minus G minus JGB represents the oscillating region, and to the right it is representing the non-oscillation region. So we can see that our admittance YE will be a spiral, it will be of non-linear nature, and the oscillation condition and the oscillation region is explained.